it feels good, we'll close our eyes. And today's class is all about the spine. So I invite you just to lean your head towards one shoulder and then back to center and then towards the other. And just move your head gently. No effort, just let it sort of drop to one side or tilt to one side and then to the other. And as you do so, you might observe that there's, as if it were a central point. I often see it as a sort of ball or something three-dimensional that stays in the center even though you move your head. And then come back to center again. So from the crown of your head down to the tailbone. Beautiful spine which defines our verticality. Just you might sense the base of your spine and how it lengthens up towards the head, and the head sort of can pivot around the top vertebra. And then bringing your elbows up shoulder height and bending your arms. We're going to go through the 6 movements of the spine. So we just lean back or lengthen the head back, and then let your heart drop down into the back of your lung tissue, shoulder blades supporting, and then come back to center. So just experience this movement a couple of times, so back and forward, and notice how you do so that the weight will probably change in the feet. You'll sense your feet differently as you go back and forward. Okay, so the elbows can be down a little bit lower, it doesn't really matter, but arms are bent, palms facing forward, and you just do repeat this movement. And the heart doesn't lift, but rather it sinks into the back of the lungs, and the shoulder blades serve as a sort of basket, as it were, for the heart. And then release, come down, take a moment to sense that movement or any reverberation of that movement. And then bring your feet further apart as we go into a gentle forward fold. So knees are bent. You might want to have your block here. Knees are bent, and you just roll forward, sort of hinging at the hips. And then you can take your block and just place the head onto the top of the block, so it could be further away from you or closer. Just place maybe the crown of the head, maybe your forehead, and your hands can support the body here. And then gently coming back up again, knees stay bent, arms are heavy, and you come back into vertical position. And then move down again one more time, heavy arms. Come all the way down until your head is on the block. Knees can stay bent, it doesn't really matter if the knees are bent. If you want to stretch the legs, you can, otherwise keep them bent. And then we'll roll up again. Up to standing, sense how you stand now. And then bring your feet closer together and cross your right leg over your left. So right leg is over left. And then bring your arms up, grasp your elbows, and move your body over towards the left, just as far as you can without losing balance. See how this challenges your balance. So notice the sternum is probably moving up towards the right side of your body. If you notice that it's a bit wobbly, you can gently open your eyes a little bit. That'll help you balance. And then come back to center. And then do this a couple of times, sort of dynamically, just observing how the spine flexes and extends at the same time. As you go over to the left and then back to center. And then release both arms down. Unwrap or uncross your legs. Take a moment here, just standing to sense both sides of the body and this central column of your spine. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So left leg crosses over right, arms come up, you grasp onto your elbows if this feels comfortable for your shoulders, and then we extend and bend the body towards the right. Staying here for a couple of breaths. And then coming back to center, and then a couple of times just dynamically, and all your attention on the spine and also the sternum, how it moves in this way. So it's really a movement to the side, so neither forward nor back, but as if we were maybe against a wall and we move in this sagittal plane. And then release the arms down and cross your legs. Take a moment here in standing to sense both sides of the body. There's maybe a sense of length on both sides. And the last two movements are in a twist. So bring your hands to your shoulders, and then with your chin parallel to the ground, move over to the left with your upper body, and then come back to center. So do this just a couple of times, and with an awareness maybe on your feet as well. So how does your contact with the earth change? And then also the spine, imagining, so the lumbar spine doesn't really rotate, but the thoracic spine and the cervical spine will move. And with your eyes closed, observe also how your eyes are floating in their own little oceans and possibly in the opposite direction of the movement of your upper body. And then come back to center, release your arms down, take a moment to observe. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So hands up to your shoulders, and we're going to twist to the right. Your chin remains parallel to the ground, your eyes ideally closed. Notice your feet and any other part of the body involved in this gentle twisting. See if you can do it as efficiently as it were as possible. So just the minimum movement required. And then come back to center, release your arms down. And then we're going to come down to the ground, so find a squat, possibly come down into a squat, and then onto all fours. And then take your bolster, and we're going to place the bolster the length of the mat in front of us. Knees can stay wide. Now, if this is difficult on your knees, you could place something, or if you have one knee that doesn't feel so comfortable like this, you can place something just behind the knee and sit on that to increase the distance. Otherwise, like this. And then you might want a blanket handy for the head, but just check. We're coming into a sort of child's pose here. And we're going to let the head move over to the left. So the head is towards the left, and you relax the body down. And the bolster is the whole length, so it's from the pubic bone all the way up to then support the head. And your arms can lay by the sides, completely relaxed. So I'll mind the time. And just allow your spine to release into this posture. So we often think of our spine as being in the back, but in fact, if we look at how the vertebrae are made, the spine is nearly central. So the Shushumna, or the river, as it were, of energy that moves through the body from the crown to the tail, moves through, you could imagine the center of the body. And the energy vortexes are placed also along the center of the body and towards the inside of the spine, and radiate forward and back. The first one is down at the tailbone. You might want to imagine think of the colors of the rainbow. So at the very bottom of the spine, around the tailbone, we can imagine a red, the color of red, crimson. And then gently lift your head, very, very gently, and turn it towards the other side and release it down again onto the bolster. So one side might feel more or less comfortable for your neck. Base of your spine, the color red. Sense of being in the right place, of non-doing. And then gently come back and just keep your upper body on the bolster and just stretch your legs out. So you're lying on the bolster now, and allow your head to drop over the front. So your head is loose, your head is free, it's not supported, and it drops over the front of the bolster. And your arms wherever they're most comfortable, no effort required. And just in front of the sacrum towards the front body, the next color of the rainbow, an orange. You might feel warmth here, maybe warmth in the sacrum, maybe warmth in the lower belly. Allowing your whole spine to release down like pearls on a necklace, each vertebra finding its space and its place. And then very gently bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and with a very heavy head, come onto all fours. And then sit over to the left-hand side. So you'll have the left leg as if you were going to sit in a cross-legged position. So the left leg is open and the right leg is, there's an interior rotation. Okay, super. And then place your left hand just next to your left leg. And bring your right hand on top of your head. Okay, so this should feel comfortable to the shoulder. You can release your shoulder. And the movement we're doing here is the one we did at the beginning. So we're going to stay in the same plane as if you had a wall behind you. You allow your head to come down towards the left shoulder, and then back up to center, and then slightly over to the right. And then down and up. So the head is moving and the hand is placed on the crown of your head. And as you do this gentle movement, I invite you to observe the thoracic spine, which will be moving from side to side, billowing out to one side. Each time you move. And the sternum, like a pendulum, will be also moving from one side to the other. release the hand down, and we're going to bring our left elbow down, so you're sort of supported here, left elbow, and the left shoulder will be fixed and safe. And then we'll do the same movement here. So the range of movement is slightly different. The whole spine, of course, is involved. Although we mightn't sense it that much in the lumbar spine, every part moves together. So your jaw can relax, your hand is on the crown of your head, and you just do this very gentle movement. And then release your right arm down alongside your body. And now we're going to bring the arm up and over the head. So without twisting, it stays in one plane and then back again. So the arm up over the head and back again. So you might notice by doing this simple movement that the space being created between the ribs and thus in each vertebra of the thoracic spine. And then bring your right hand forward beyond your left knee, sort of the height of your left fingers, but a bit further forward. And now we're going to change the plane of movement. So looking into your hand, if this is okay for your neck, lift your arm up and to the back, and then down again. So you'll probably notice the whole rib cage opening up like a barrel. You might find sensations in the lumbar spine, sense something there. And take your time. So it's the non-doing or the non-wanting which is the secret. Remain curious. And then gently coming back, come back into sitting the way you are, and just take a moment here to sense both sides of the body in this unusual posture. Then we're going to switch the legs around. So right leg as if you were going to sit cross-legged, and then left knee comes down, and there's an interior rotation in the left leg. Right hand out to the side to support the body, and then hand on your head, eyes closed, and move your right ear towards the right shoulder, and then back, and then towards the left shoulder. Your hand is on the crown of the head, as if the hand were just following this movement of the head. Jaws relaxed, eyes are relaxed, and the eyes just sort of swim here. Awareness goes towards the back of the skull, and you might even sense this centeredness within the head that we felt at the very beginning. And then gently come back, and we're going to go onto the right elbow. So the posture is different, and then hand on the head, and then the same. So try and stay in the same plane of movement. And the head bows down towards the shoulder and then up towards the other. So down towards the right and back up towards the left. It's a bit more difficult, maybe. There's less range of movement. Stay here. And bring your left hand alongside the body, and then we're going to bring the left arm up and over the head, and then up and back again. So the lumbar spine will also experience more space here. And as least effort as possible, and listen inside to what's happening in your body. It's all sorts of things probably. And then release the left arm, and then bring the left arm forward in front of the right knee as we now open to experience the barrel of our thoracic spine and the whole rib cage. If it feels okay to you, you can keep your eyes glued to the palm as your arm moves, and if your head tires, you can just look down and do the movement without moving the head. This can be quite challenging sometimes for the neck if we have tension here. And then one last time. And then release the arm down, come up into seated. Just take a moment to observe. So the breath will be able to enter more fully now. And now we're going to switch the legs again. Okay, but this time now for a Yin Yoga posture. So your left leg is opened, exterior rotation, right leg interior. And then bring your bolster to be at 90 degrees. So the length of your bolster at 90 degrees to your left hip. And we're going to come here into a twist. So very gently, one hand on either side of the bolster. Create space before you move, and you let your body come down over the bolster. And then your head can either be, you could add a blanket if you wished. Your head is either looking towards the legs or to the other side. So whatever feels comfortable for you, and of course you can change if you feel the need to change the head to the other direction, feel free. And I'll mind the time, so allow your body just to settle down here completely. So the movements we did beforehand prepare the body here to receive this different movement. If we continue up the ladder of the rainbow around the navel towards the front and towards the back, the color yellow. You might sense warmth. And then around the center of your heart, the color green. Around the throat, indigo blue. And in the center of the head, purple. Moves into a very clear violet color around the crown. Let your attention glide through the centers of awareness along the spine with adoring intent. Let your attention glide through the centers of awareness along the spine with adoring intent. And then very, very gently place your hands on your mat on the ground and push your upper body off the bolster, keeping your head heavy. Take your time. So each transition is a posture in itself. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So if you want, you can bring your bolster to the other side or just switch sides. So this time the right leg is out and the left leg is in. So right leg open, left leg interior rotation, and then the bolster to the outside of the left hip. And before you go down, just take your time to rise from this rootedness, from the red color to the orange to the yellow. One hand to either side, and then gently lay the body down, and your head can be to the same side as the legs or to the opposite. So if one side feels, the head feels a bit uncomfortable, try and stay there for a little bit, and then you can always switch, but sometimes the body just needs a bit of time to enter into the posture. Arms are relaxed. There's no holding, there's no pressure on the forearms or elbows. And we enter into what the Tao calls the non-doing, non-action. Do that which consists in taking no action. Savor that which has no flavor. Make the small big and the few many. As we release down and the spine releases down, all these colors which you may have in front of your inner eye, but you may not. It doesn't really matter. When we release, we allow all the tissues of the body to release. When we release our bones, we allow for everything else to release. Remember that you are not your thoughts, but you are who is observing the thoughts. You are not your emotions, they go through you, and you can observe them. And you can allow everything just to be, remaining curious, observing everything from this center spot inside the head. And then very gently, hands to either side of the bolster, push your body up with a heavy head. Take your time. Put the bolster to one side for the moment, and we'll come into child's pose together. So here you can have your knees wide if you like. If you find it challenging for the knees, you could also place a rolled up blanket just behind the knees. And then when you sit back down, it's probably a bit easier. Your forehead to the ground or supported on a blanket or cushion. Noticing the depth of your breath. A gentle caress of every inhale and exhale as it moves through your body. And then very gently come back onto all fours, and then stretch out your legs, and we're going to lie down on our bellies. Take the bolster, and the bolster will now be across the mat and underneath the chest. And we're going to come into a supported Sphinx pose, as it were. So your bolster's underneath the chest and you're lying on it, and your elbows in front of the bolster and palms facing down. And now your head can either hang here, or if you wanted, you could take a block and gently tilt it so that it supports your forehead. Okay, so not quite flat on the ground, but gently tilted. As you relax then into this posture. The legs are reaching back, nice and long, completely relaxed, the heels falling out to the side. space now in the lumbar spine. You might even sense the coccyx reaching into the ground, the sacrum as the keystone of the legs, and the spine reaching all the way up inside the head. Remain here in non-action. This place of deep, deep centeredness within. And then knowing that when we act from here, when we return again and again to our own centeredness, any action that comes from there is a just action. And then very, very gently come back. You can bend your knees, come back just to bring your bolster over to the side, and we lay back down on our bellies. Place your arms in front of you if this is okay for your elbows, and your right cheek on your right hand. The right hand is above, and then bend your left knee 90 degrees to the side of your body. It's as if we were in a sort of half frog. And if it doesn't feel comfortable for your shoulders this way, you can always place your head on a blanket and just leave your arms down by your side. The left leg is out to the side in a half frog. And your head is facing the same side as your knee. So make sure the knee that is bent is comfortable. You can always place something underneath the knee to cushion it a little bit if you need to. If you wish, in your mind's eye, you can travel up and down the spine from the red to the orange to the yellow to the green, the indigo, purple and violet. Sense your breath flowing up and down the central channel. And then very gently outstretch your left leg. Gently turn your head to the other direction, placing your left cheek on your left hand, and then bend the right knee up 90 degrees to your upper body. As we repeat this posture on the other side. Shining One, it says in the Radiant Sutras, this old text from the Tantric tradition. Shining One, breathing out, let go. Breathing out, let go. And fall into knowing of all creation as existing within space. And fall into knowing all of creation as existing within space. And you are absorbed in that vibrant, empty fullness. And you are absorbed in that vibrant, empty fullness. In this moment, your body is intimate with space, exchanging essence for essence. In this moment, your body is intimate with space, exchanging essence for essence, balancing in the midst of vast emptiness, no utter freedom. Balancing in the midst of vast emptiness, no utter freedom. Very gently outstretch your leg, come back, roll onto your back. You might want to bring your bolster underneath your knees if that feels comfortable. Cover yourself for Shavasana. Making sure you're warm and cozy. Your feet are not touching, your arms out to the side. Your tongue behind your upper teeth, allowing for the jaw to relax. Your eyes gently closed, your eyelids heavy. Upper palate sinking back through your skull into the ground. The skin on your face relaxed. And then from the crown of the head all the way down the body. As your spine sinks from your skull to the cervical spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, sacrum and tailbone. So it allows every fiber in your body to release and create space. And to become become intimate and exchange essence for essence. Your body becomes balanced in this vastness, the vast emptiness. As your arms relax, your legs relax. And with every exhale, you let go. And you fall into knowing of all creation. Your body is still and at peace, and relaxes into vastness.